Hi everybody, I just wanted to give you a third update on my ogroup project. As you'll have seen from my first two videos, I'm in the process of painting up predominantly my infantry, trying very hard not to get sidetracked into dealing with the goodies, the tanks and the other nice bits and pieces. However, I have been sidetracked a little bit for other reasons which I will come on to. I just wanted to show you sort of progress so far really. So these chaps here, which are the remains of my C company and a few other bits and pieces like my Piat teams at the back there. Again, you won't be able to see them very well in this slide. I'll zoom some in a bit closer in a moment, but they are predominantly at the stage now of just requiring some deck tan finish to the webbing, a dry brush of deck tan, and then probably a light tone wash, which I've been doing on the other ones, which I'll show you in a moment. So that's where we're at with those at the moment. Okay, so the chaps I showed you in the box also included my engineer platoon, and these are the rest of my two companies that are ready. They have had the deck tan, dry brush details, and they've now had the wash. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of a close-up. I'm just going to put some white background on here. Hopefully that will make it a little bit easier to see those little chaps. Yeah, they are pretty much ready to go. So you can see some of the detail on the back there. And the light is very bad again today, yeah, so they're all at that point. That's these ones here. Then we've got some that have already at the point of having the basing material put on. So this is the Bacchus 6mm basing system. I use it for a lot of the smaller scales, 10s, 15s. So it's PVA. I've painted the base brown to start with, then PVA, wet PVA, watered down a little bit, spread all over the base, and sprinkle this all on, and then just dust it off the figures really. So you can see that that's kind of pretty much that was done last night. Now that's pretty dry, and once you put the wash over the top, which is the foundation wash, this one. And then you will add on the various colours, base, mid, top coat, dry brushes over the top, and you should then end up with, well, this is what you'll end up after the wash. So again, these are already kind of ready to go. Now these may look a bit they may look a bit glossy. That is purely the light, and they aren't glossy, and they won't be glossy because I don't like glossy figures. So they will be sprayed with a matte varnish afterwards to tone down that anyway. But I think it is just purely the light reflecting off the figures at the moment. So yeah, that's at the stage of that. Then you will eventually get to, I'll come back to this base in a moment, but you'll come back to this kind of mottled effect once you've done the dry brushing over the top. And now this figure, for example, is my forward observation observer, or artillery observer, whatever you want to call him. He's there with his radio operator, and this base now is ready for any flock I want to put on there, any tufts I want to put on there, or any other kind of basing scatter material to kind of bring that base to life, which I obviously will. While I'm on the base here, I will just concentrate and explain to you what I've done here, and this is where I've been diverted a little bit. So we're having a painting chat a couple of weeks ago, and my brother was talking about using some foam board, which is this stuff here, to make some sort of ruined pieces, diorama pieces, to put his figures on for basing effect. And I got some ideas myself, so I thought I'd have a go at it. This was my first attempt. So I've cut out a couple of uneven pieces, one here to go on the side, just enough here for head height, so you can just see his head looking over, and then I've just punctured some holes into there to replicate bullet stroke shell holes. A little bit of Latin writing on there. I took that from a photograph I found on Google from the period, because my army is based on Italy, 1943. And yeah, I was quite pleased with the effects as they've come out there. So basically glued them onto the base before I did the basing material, and then when I put the PVA mix down for this, I PVA'd over the top of the foam board here and sprinkled all the same stuff over here, and you get this mottled sort of rubble effect. I'll try and zoom it in so you can, I don't think I can get much closer than that, but there you go, which I think looks quite effective. And I then painted this in this case I used a German grey Vallejo. I did that in a slightly watered down colour of that first to soak it all in, and then I used one of my triads, my Foundry Austrian white shade, because it's sort of off-white, it's near enough grey. Did that very lightly over the top, and then for the bullet holes I actually used a contrast paint. So I used contrast Wildwood. First of all, pop some dots in there, and then again some watered down kind of splashes, and again I did a light tone brown just to add some sort of wash effects to the concrete there. But I was quite pleased with the outcome for my first attempt there. Some of my other work in progress. So I've started. These are my battalion mortars. Again, let's just sort of zoom those in so you can see. Again, originally I hadn't put the ruins, the concrete on there, but I've now added some pieces which are a work in progress. They're not finished yet, but you can kind of get a feel for that. So my battalion mortars have been set up in the ruins, in the rubble, sort of some cover. We've got some damage and shell fire and things like that on there, but you can see we've still got the dry brushing to do on the base, and obviously all the impact effects, tufts and grass and things to go on there. But again, that's coming along quite nicely. Same with the Vickers machine guns. So again, I've sort of set these up, work in progress. You can kind of get a flavour for those at the moment. Again, just all slightly different, and again, reasonably happy with how they've come out for my first attempts at such things. And then the other work in progress is my battalion HQ, which I kind of started right off the bat really, and it's still not finished, but I'm kind of just adding bits and pieces in as I go along. So you know, the vehicles and the figures pretty much done. The figures certainly are done. The vehicles a little bit undecided whether to put any more kind of detail on those or not. They're quite small figures, as you can see there to start with anyway, the Daimler Dingo and the Jeep, and they're more there for impact than anything else. But again, I've put some bits of ruins on there. So we've got a radio operator in cover there, and then just sort of some odd bits of concrete cut and put together, again using the same techniques I've already talked about, and we've already dry brushed that, but obviously I need to tone that down. You know, I want to put some green in there, make that look a bit darker, put some tufts on there to rise the ground up a little bit. I'm very conscious with terrain that it needs to be uneven, as it would be in war-torn terrain, but mind you, this chap here, he looks pretty chilled out, doesn't he? Again, cracking figures from Pendraken, I've got to say. Leon's been very helpful. I have got some more bits and pieces on order from him. I'm kind of hoping they're not going to distract me further. So I've ordered some armoured cars, Humbers. I've ordered a 25-pounder, so I'm actually going to use one with some counters on to represent my artillery supports, and a few other bits and bobs as well. Yeah, some bits for a possible future project as well, but I'll divulge that as and when it's necessary. So just a quick update on how things are coming along. Reasonably happy with my progress. It's a long slog, but we're certainly getting there, and the next steps really are to get these finished off, get these with the basing material on, and start to get everything to this point where your bases have got this on them, and then I will probably do the necessary grass tuft application for all at the same time. Just before I finish, the only other thought I'm giving at the moment is how I'm going to represent or separate the bases so that you can see what units respond to what. So my thoughts at this stage are to paint the back of the base in a colour representing, in the infantry's case, the platoons or the companies, so that I can easily see from my side of the table what units they respond to, and I think that's quite discreet. I don't really want to put things on the bases because I just don't think it looks right, for me anyway. And because its scale is a bit bigger than the 6mm that maybe I would normally use for things like Rommel, where I have done that, I think 10mm, you know, the figures are so nice that they deserve to stand on their own. So just some thoughts at the moment, but I'll keep you updated. Hope you've enjoyed this short video update, and look forward to seeing you again soon.